Hi, and welcome to Cooking with Be Fed Virtual. So today we're going to do a virtual cooking class and we're going to learn how to make an easy one-pot pasta. So today we're making a creamy basil chicken pasta, and it's super cheap and super economic. You can feed 4 people for around $2.25 a person, so you're under $10 for this entire recipe. It's really great and it's tasty, and a lot of things you may already have in your cabinets at home. So today we've got some sun-dried tomatoes that I have just sliced up and diced a little bit. We've got about 2 cloves of garlic. We've got some shredded Parmesan cheese, about 3 ounces of cream cheese cubed. I've got 3 tablespoons of butter, about 1.5 cups of chicken stock. We've got about 1 cup of half and half. You can use whole milk or light milk, whatever you have in hand. If you have heavy cream, that'll work too. We have a pound of boneless, skinless chicken breast that I've cubed into 1-inch cubes. And we have some fresh spinach, about 2 to 3 cups. The recipe calls for penne pasta. I could not find any at the grocery store, and I didn't have any in my pantry, so I got some rotini. So here's going to be about 1/2 pound of pasta, whatever pasta you want to use. If you want to use bow tie, penne, just really whatever you want to use. So let's get started cooking. Alright, so we've got a deep skillet here that we've brought up to a medium-high heat on our stove. We're going to add a little bit of olive oil, about 2 to 3 tablespoons, not a ton. You want that warm up just a little bit, and then we're just going to add our chicken in. And we're going to let our chicken lightly brown. We don't want to completely cook the chicken while we're doing this process because it is going to boil a little bit in the sauce and the water. And you can pause. Alright, so now we're going to add our garlic into our chicken. Our chicken's lightly brown. We're going to add our garlic in there. Now, you don't want to add your garlic in too soon. Garlic can burn really quickly, and once garlic's burnt, you're not going to be able to rescue that flavor. So you just want to wait until the last minute to throw that garlic in and really let it flavor your dish. So, once my garlic kind of gets aromatic, you don't want to cook it too long. You don't want to get it super brown. You just want it to become aromatic. We're going to add in our pasta. And like I said, this is just 1/2 pound of rotini. We're going to throw it in there, give it a little stir, and get it incorporated. And then I'm going to add in my chicken stock. Alright, so we're going to let that come up to a boil. We're going to cover it, let that come up to a boil, and we're going to let it cook for about 8 to 10 minutes until the pasta's tender. So now that your pasta's come to a boil, we're going to cover it up, and we're going to turn down the heat just a little bit and let it cook for about 8 to 10 minutes, stirring it occasionally just to make sure nothing sticks, and let that pasta become tender. So, once your pasta's tender and most of the liquid has kind of been absorbed by the pasta, and you don't have a lot of liquid left, we just want to add in, so as you see here, we got just a little bit of liquid left. We're going to add in our butter. We're going to let that melt. And we're going to add in our cream cheese. I tried to. I just want to stir this around on about medium to medium low heat just to get this cheese and the butter to kind of melt with your pasta. And what we're doing is making our sauce here. Now, if you're trying to make this a little bit lower calorie, you can leave out the cream cheese. It's not going to be as creamy, but it will still be just as delicious. Or you could use a low-fat cream cheese. I am using full-fat cream cheese. You could use a whole wheat pasta instead of a regular pasta. So once our cheese is almost all the way in there, we're going to add in our half and half. Now, this is about 1 cup, and I've let it come to room temperature so it's not super cold so that it won't seize anything up, and it won't take as long for it to cook. So now our cream and the cream cheese mixture has come to a nice little simmer. We're going to add in our basil. Now, my recipe calls for 1/3 cup of basil chopped. I could not find any fresh basil anywhere. So we're going to use this lovely stir-in paste. So we're just going to change that from 1/3 cup to about 2 to 3 tablespoons of basil. And then we're also going to add in our sun-dried tomatoes. So it's nice in there. Stir that up. And once we get that incorporated, we're going to add our spinach. And we're just going to cover the spinach after we stir it in and let it become just wilted. We don't want to like cook it down too much. We just want to wilt the spinach in the pasta. Spinach stirred up. This is not the pretty part. I thought about light behind some pressure. I love basil. Alright, so now our spinach is wilted and we're just going to top it off with 1/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese. Now the great thing about this recipe is you don't have any salt in this recipe, but the Parmesan is going to give it a nice salty flavor without having to add any salt. So if you have high blood pressure issues, things like that, this is a great recipe because you're not adding any extra salt that you don't need in your body. Okay. And so now we're just going to top it off with a little fresh cracked black pepper. This is completely optional, but it's going to add a nice little pop in there. Some crushed red pepper. We're not going to add a lot. We don't want it too spicy. We just want a little bit of flavor. And there you go. And there you have it, an easy one-pan creamy basil chicken pasta. So I'm actually going to take the camera now, while still practicing social distancing, and let Billy try the food.
Who wants a chicken? Oh my god. It's really good.
Thanks for tuning in today, and we hope that this will be the first of many virtual cooking classes that we'll be doing here at BAO for BFed. If you have any questions or comments, or you want to see topics in the future that you'd like to see, email me at joshua@birminghamadsoutreach.org. Bye!